Look at the caliber of Ballon d'Ors that we're having now.
Most managers now prioritize results over whatever kind of flair you have as a footballer.
You cannot discredit Cesc Fabregas.
Coaches are now stepping up to the point where they literally want to control everything the player does on the pitch.
Welcome back, everybody, to Over the Bar podcast, and it's another episode that promises to be exciting. Our first talking point today will be something that we have called unpopular opinion, but I mean, it's becoming popular, and it would be tactical football versus creativity. It would be a question of tactical football versus creativity. There has been some discussions lately about how coaches have become more tactical, which in essence limits the creativity of players. And certain coaches have come under fire for that. I'll just list a couple of names before you guys, speak to it. Pep Guardiola has been accused over the years of limiting players in the sense that, for instance, Savinho, Grealish, there are quite a number of players that we can mention in that sense. They come into the club and they play differently from what they have ever known or how they have ever played. There's Arteta, there is Xabi Alonso, recently at Real Madrid, who had to leave his position because players were not aligned with whatever he was passing on to them, right? There's also Antonio Conte, who has been accused of being too stringent with his methods. There's Amorim, also not too long ago, who left Manchester United because of his stubbornness, just sticking to his tactics, that even the Pope cannot tell him to change what he's doing, right? So tactics, creativity. Just before I let you guys speak, there was a comment from Anthony Gordon of Newcastle, just saying that the Premier League has become much more methodic than it used to be. It was just saying that the UEFA Champions League is a lot more open and people are able to play their football. But in the Premier League, it's very methodic. It's more tactical than, not tactical in the sense that you will just see a very crazy change during the game, that the game just suddenly goes and then one team. No, it is that they will say clubs are employing throwing specialists, scoring set pieces. That's exactly what it was referring to, that a club's philosophy is just based on this, and that is it. Every other player, all other players on the pitch, everybody must walk by this. What do you guys think? Is football, Premier League especially, has it become too methodic these days, such that it's then limiting players? I'll start with Brown.
I mean, there has been arguments to this effect in many quarters, right? And to a very large extent, I agree with the idea that, recently there has been less football, especially in the Premier League, where teams are now employing tactics of maybe long throws, set pieces to score goals, like Arsenal did against Manchester United, which has also come under criticism even by their former coach Arsene Wenger, on that match day. And then you see a lot of other examples of these kind of cases. So yes, there is one thing to be tactical in maybe your in-game play and how you set up your team, but then again, coaches are now stepping up to the point where they literally want to control everything a player does on the pitch. And I feel like that goes a long way to take away the abilities of some of these players, And then an example of the match against Arsenal that Manchester United played, you would notice that while Saka was on the right flank, right, playing against Luke Shaw, even though he was doubled up, he has experienced those kind of doubling up in the past. But Saka, instead of drifting in, has always remained on the edge of the line for the ball to come to him. And when he switched over to this other side, similar things happen. So yes, there has been. I completely agree with this. And then when you compare some of the football we watched before now, right? In '99, when Manchester United won the Champions League against Bayern Munich, from that goal from Teddy Sheringham, that 9-minute goal, those things were not things that were coached, from the coaching bench. Players were allowed to express themselves. You see people like David Beckham crossing balls from their own half of the pitch into the opposition's box. Those things were not taught by coaches, right? And then one of the greats, arguably one of the greats in the last 20 years of football, Lionel Messi. Messi would not have been who he is today if he was not allowed to express himself on the pitch. And you could make similar arguments for the likes of Ronaldo. So Messi, Ronaldo, these two very fantastic players would not have been who they are, right, if they were managed, if every action they take on the pitch were managed by coaches. So I feel like we miss a lot of real football, in my opinion. The likes of Ronaldinho doing things on the pitch. We miss so much of that. You see Vinicius Junior, one of those very few players that also tries to be themselves on the pitch. So coaches trying too hard to manage how players play, how they pass the ball, how they move on the pitch, and all those sort of things goes a long way to actually take away from the beauty of the game. Hence the reason why you see statements like that of Anthony Gordon coming out in the press recently. So yeah, coaches are not really doing well. And you could argue that, oh, some of these modern coaches are now winning trophies. The same happened with the old-time coaches that also allowed players to express themselves. For instance, Lionel Messi made his debut under Frank Rijkaard. Frank Rijkaard allowed players like Deco, the likes of Xavi Alonso, you see Ronaldinho expressing themselves on the pitch, and they won trophies. As a matter of fact, he won at least 10 major trophies, including the Champions League. The same will go for Carlo Ancelotti, and one of those remarkable games that we experienced in recent time was Madrid against Man City in the Champions League. Players were allowed to be themselves. And he has also won multiple trophies, Ancelotti, about 30 plus trophies and counting. And the same goes for Sir Alex Ferguson, who is arguably one of the greatest coaches of the Premier League. Allow players be themselves and flow and give us beautiful football. So yeah, coaches of this modern day, they have taken so much out of the footballing for us. In my opinion.
Solid point there. AY, do you think there is a balance here? Because, for instance, there are coaches who have allowed, players be themselves, and in the end, it results in those teams losing shape while they're, during games. Because simply the fact that you let Hazard, for instance, just be who he is on the pitch, or you allow Saka to be who he is, it could mean that you get to lose your shape, and then there is problem tactically on the field. Do you think there's a balance here, or do you think coaches are doing too much lately by trying to coach every single phase of play?
So, so for me, I would say it still rests on coaches. Why? Because most managers now prioritize results over whatever kind of attacking or whatever kind of flair you have as a footballer. If, for instance, see Madueke is a very entertaining player. You see him on the ball. The game he played yesterday, he was our most entertaining player. He was dribbling and dribbling. But what was the output? No goal, no assists. And in the league now, if you are you will see so many people talking about Bukayo. He has not he has not scored in 12 matches, he has not scored in 13 matches. But if you watch Bukayo in the game, in some games, you will see him try to cut players, you will see him. But some people will tell you that's not what they want. They want you to score and they want you to win games. So, number one, I would say what managers prioritize now is results. So they try to tell players what they need to do. Bukayo, don't be too extra on the ball. Once you get the ball, pass back to maybe your other guard. That's why most times you will see Arteta on the touchline trying to say do like this, pass like this, and you will see some old see Wenger before he left. Wenger played entertaining. You just see him sitting and you see everybody tiki taka. The same thing with Guardiola at Barcelona. You will see everybody just playing well. So that is number one. And number two, I would say teams in the EPL play low block. That one will not even allow player one to express. See Tottenham, for example, in Champions League. Tottenham in Champions League, they finished fourth on the table. Check Premier League, they are 8 points from relegation. Why? Because in the Champions League, nobody send you. Come and play your football. Play your football,
It's
I
a
play my
tournament.
football. Yeah, it's the tournament football. Play your football, I play my football. And whoever takes their chances, win. But in the league, you will see a team like West Ham. You will see a team like Everton want to just sit back, eat you on the counter. They are okay with 1 point and they will not do anything. They are only just to remain in the league and remain in the league. Then my third point would be that we actually have less skillful players in the league. For instance, I don't think we have players like Hazard again, players like Wilshere, players like Coutinho, players that you would see in the EPL, you will see them play entertaining football. There's this player, Saint Maximin. That was
Yeah.
that was close to
For Newcastle.
entertain. You will see him. Of course, maybe that one's output too, and his injuries too added to his whatever. But we have less entertaining players in the Premier League. My last point I would like to also put out there is also fixture congestion. Before now, we don't have like having maybe multiple games midweek, international competitions, this, that. So players too want to play safe. They want to play because there's a World Cup coming. Why would I be injured? All I just want to do is collect the ball, pass. There's no point showing myself, showing my tactics, as long as we get the win, which will take me back to your question and say that managers and teams actually they prioritize winning and results over flair or whatever, or a very fine football, whatever. So, yeah.
You made a very valid point about we not having players like Hazard. I mean, maybe there are new crops of players now coming in, but it's a very valid point that we don't have players like Hazard, Williams, and Maximin. Could it be because of where the league is at the moment, where everything is just this way, that way? This is how you score goals. Nobody wants you to take too many touches on the ball. Nobody wants you to do a flick or a rabona.
Even the fans are not helping. The fans are not helping. They will tell you to take the shots. There's no point. Why are you doing this?
I mean, if you display too much skills or too much moves, the commentator will say that you are disrespecting the opponent. Shola, what are your thoughts?
I mean, I sort of agree, that football has become more rigid and less entertaining, for that matter. So, for example, I'm going to give an example. If you put JJ Okocha and maybe Samuel Eto'o, like if you try to say people should rate them, who is the best African player, right? You're going to have like mixed opinions. And it's so obvious that Samuel Eto'o had the better career between the two of them. Meanwhile, JJ Okocha at some point was in Bolton Wanderers and stuff like that. But you still have that indecisiveness among fans that they will be like arguing, like, no, JJ Okocha was better, Samuel Eto'o was better. So it just shows you that football in those days was not really about number of goals or number of assists or even who you play for, Like, it's just about you offering that flair, offering that moment of magic, that entertainment and everything. So we had that. To be honest, if I'm meant to take between this modern football and the old one, I'll go for the old one. Yeah. When we go watch match in the olden days,
you enjoy
you get the value, you get value for your money. Facts. Plus the banter in the viewing center, plus Ronaldo can just dribble 2-3 people,
like
do leg over, do snake bites.
Players.
Yes.
It was fun.
It was fun. So, and we should not forget that football is also entertainment. The entertainment is the Rabona, is the legovers, is the, all of those things. Yes. So I would say that, I mean, I can't even blame coaches because look at Lamine Yamal even now. Like, I feel like if it is there, it is there. If it is not there, it is not there. I feel like just that those players, the recruitment of those days, I think they prioritize flair over rigidity. That's what I would just say. Like, I feel like players that are really exciting nowadays are not getting the opportunities to actually get to the biggest stage. That's what I would say. Because if this thing is innate, there is no way that it will not show. It's regardless of what any coach is saying, there is no way that it will not show. Take Neymar as an example. Neymar would rather get injured than not him dribbling. He would rather get kicked. He would rather miss out on winning the Ballon d'Or, but that he will not dribble, that he will not do leg over, that he will not do Rabona, that he will not do all of these kids. Never. So at times it is innate, and it's just that I don't think we have as much players now that are really that has that flair. Right? Because now it seems that, for example, I have a cousin now, he's already in the academy. So it seems like they've already started teaching them from like so young how to pass, how to do triangular movements, how to do zone marking, how to do this. So that will beat every flair that you have, will beat it off. Because it is like, this is consciousness that you are building into you. But imagine you just go and watch football, somebody who was never coached. And you just went for like local, you just sat down, you just see people playing on the field, never coached. They don't have any coach. You see, come and see talent, come and see the way they will be playing, the fear, the joy. It's like they are playing joyfully. And it seems that recruitment has left those kind of talents for the ones that have been in academy and have been structured and have been trained just to get to the top. So those are the ones that they are going for. They are not going for. That's why when you look at maybe Papa Perez now, perhaps you see him, he prefers to go to Brazil.
Yes, to get those players.
And to get those players. And unfortunately for Hendrick, maybe he didn't work with Madrid, but we see what he's doing in Lyon.
He's doing at Lyon.
Yeah, he's balling.
Even Estevao at Chelsea.
Yes.
When he comes on, you see the difference.
You see the difference. You see the excitement. You see the everything like that. And I think another club that can we say probably prioritizes talent also is the La Masia, is like Barcelona. When you see the caliber of people that come from the academy, it's like the likes of Cesc Fabregas. When Cesc Fabregas was playing in the Premier League, Arsenal does not need to win. How many matches was Arsenal win? Arsenal was just like a top four
exactly.
team. But they were forced to reckon with. You can't disrespect Arsenal. They will give you.
But sorry, but is these same fans, opposition fans, that will tell you how many Premier Leagues, how many Champions Leagues that we won?
No, but I understood that Fabregas era because he was Arsene Wenger was trying to. Arsenal as a football club they had a 10-year plan to build the Emirates Stadium, so they didn't invest too much on buying of players, all of those things also. So I think that is partly why they didn't win so many.
Exactly, they didn't, because the people that won it, they did not like they did. Ronaldinho won Champions League.
Of course,
Ronaldinho, Samuel Eto'o, Messi. In that team, they played beautiful football, just like the same one Arsenal was playing. It was just like it was star-studded, like talent meeting talent. So we can't say that was not why Arsenal did not win Champions League. Arsenal was in the final, for crying out loud, against Barcelona. It was obvious. This was like, and they had opportunity to win it. They scored the first goal with Son Campbell scored. Then Henry had so many chances that he missed.
And it was the brilliance of even the likes of Ronaldinho that even created those chances.
Yes, exactly. So, I mean, I wouldn't say that Arsenal, it was unfortunate that Arsene Wenger didn't get to win the Champions League, but, he got to the final. We should give him credit for that. So, I'm just saying that regardless of even trophies, let's say Fabregas did not even win the Champions League. Of course, he later won it, I think, with Barcelona. Let's say he didn't even win it. You cannot discredit Cesc Fabregas. You cannot even put Cesc Fabregas beside Bruno Fernandes, for example. You can't. Like, it's miles off in terms of what
that guy
in terms of the quality of passes, the types of
and he won us the Premier League still.
Yes, exactly. and they were young guys. These were young guys, really, really young guys. And maybe lastly, let me finish with this point. Like, there is this guy, local guy in my ghetto. When this guy plays football, like, you get goosebumps. We don't get those things again. We don't like. The person that I would say used to probably give me goosebumps now play, it's probably only Lamine Yamal. I used to get that with Pogba before the unfortunate incident with him, or Lionel Messi. Lionel Messi, even if you're on the opposite side, Lionel Messi gives you bombs. He gives you get it like
you cannot
you just be like, you can't even hate him. You can only hate him because he's not in your team, but you can't
Exactly.
hate that. You can't hate the thing that is happening. You're like you can see with your eyes and stuff like that. So I mean, I really wish just for the last point. Sorry, look at the caliber of Ballon d'Ors that we're having now. Compare them to
Mediocrity.
compare them to the last person to win Ballon d'Or that was like really really nice. Maybe Lionel Messi. Now compare them to Lionel Messi, Cristiano Ronaldo,
And the people
Ronaldinho. Look at the people winning now.
look at Dembele.
Look at the
for
people winning
instance.
it now. Rodri.
Like,
Hey, Dembele is a good
Dembele is
player,
a
right?
good
But
player.
can't be
but
compared to
Ballon d'Or,
Lionel Messi,
you
Cristiano
You
cannot.
can't.
Ronaldo,
You can't.
can't.
And that's why
Ronaldinho.
it was difficult for. Okay, you may say that Ballon d'Or is Ojoro. They are doing Ojoro. No, Messi shouldn't have won it. But when you put Messi beside Haaland,
Dembele.
or you put Messi beside Dembele,
You can't,
it
like,
is
it's
it is
clear.
not. It's clear. It's not like a magic for you to vote for. It's clear as day. So as long as they are there in that number one, like 1, 2, 3 spots, you know who people are going to vote for. It's just
Haaland.
clear as day. You can't argue it. You can't really say that it's being biased or something like that. So the only way that others can win it is if those guys just are not nominated or they didn't even get to top 3 at all. So yes,
Valid point.
Origi.
I'd say that in summary, what we are saying is that we all want Joga Bonito. I think that's what it's called.
Yeah.
Playing beautifully. We all want Joga Bonito back.
who doesn't want that?